Commence primary ignition.
Hey, I'm actor Chris Bartlett from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.
Hey, happy Monday, Rebels.
Hi, everyone. And thank you, Chris, for the intro.
Yes.
He will be a major topic of conversation tonight, which is very exciting.
So we got Mike in the chat so far. Hey, Mike. What's up, Keith? Long time no see.
Hello there. It is the Monday after Rhode Island Comic Con, also known as Celebration 2.0. It really
Spencer.
was such a great weekend, and we're going to spend a large portion of tonight's episode talking about Rhode Island Comic Con for anyone who was there to share their experiences, for anyone who wasn't there to alleviate the FOMO and let you know what happened. Because a
Yeah.
lot happened this weekend. We were busy,
Yeah.
busy, busy.
Oh my God, it went by so
Yep.
fast.
Yeah.
And,
No tears, Keith. No tears. Believe
aw.
me, every time, by the way, every time there's something happening on like the West Coast or like somewhere else and I'm not there, I'm the same way. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? I'm watching the chat like this. I was like, someone send me pictures. Because simply putting it in the Facebook group like simply isn't enough. Like
No.
I want in the moment, like me posting stories on Instagram. The way I was doing in Rhode Island, I want someone that directing that to me while they're at the cons at all times.
Yeah. Especially San Diego. I want to know, like, the last bit of things that are happening in Hall H. But when there are Hall H's, um, I don't think there was one this year, sadly, but
Mhm.
eh.
Yeah, here's what's so interesting. New York Comic Con was a month ago, and you could feel the impact of the writer strike.
Yeah.
Rhode Island Comic Con, you would have never known there was a strike happening because one, the talent they got was actually like quite incredible. I thought the lineup at Rhode Island Comic Con was fantastic. It always
Always.
is, but it seems to get
Yeah.
better and better every year. And because it's not really a media-driven show, it's really like a shopping and autograph and photo op show. It didn't feel like anything was missing. Like New York felt sad, and yet Rhode Island Comic Con was probably my event of the year.
Right. Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. It's not really something that people go to for breaking news, but they go there for the celebrity guests that they might not get to see anywhere else. Great vendors, great artists, and Artist Alley seems to be getting smaller and smaller every year, but they still have a great lineup there. Yeah, so it's exciting to just
Mhm.
to get there and to not be on that side of the table for at least
Yeah.
this weekend and get to like live as a fan
Oh,
for a weekend.
what was the word of the weekend? Luxuriate.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, if you
we're
want to get
luxuriating this weekend.
yeah, we were we were super productive, so much so that we got to enjoy the con. Like it was the kind of thing where we got in on Friday. So the quick story, by the way, we do have other topics beside Rhode Island Comic Con. So I don't want to scare anyone away, but
Oh
we are
no.
going to talk extensively about Rhode Island Comic Con. Ashley and I both arrived like midday on Friday. The con is actually one of those 3-day shows where like
Mhm.
it's a Friday afternoon, evening, all day Saturday 10 to 7, and then Sunday 10 to 5. So we both got in midday Sunday and got to the con around the opening, 3, 4 o'clock or whatever it was.
I got in
And
at 2. Yeah, because it
oh,
was
you went in
VIP.
early. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. You have the VIP pass.
Yeah.
Spencer was there with his vendor pass, or how he was finds a way to sneak his way in. So
I'm
Spencer's
like, how
there at
are you in
setup,
there already?
basically. Yeah, he's already like in the zip code as I'm on the Amtrak. Um, and we didn't. I believe me, I didn't need an additional minute for any reason
Yeah.
because when we got in on
I got a minute.
Friday, it was actually like a relatively light attendance day,
It
and
was
all
chill.
these big actors didn't have big lines. So let's go through. Ashley, you were with me, and Spencer
Yeah.
was in most of these as well. Who we met in Rhode Island Comic Con because I thought we were really impressive. Um, First up was Phil Lamar, who I love,
Oh,
love, love.
adore him. Phil was so cool, and he loved being a part of Star Wars and getting to play Kit Fisto and Bail Organa. He worked with Jimmy Smits, as he said, on NYPD Blue, so it was really
Mhm.
cool to just have him be Jimmy for at least that, because in those days, voice acting wasn't a thing with these big time celebrities. So it was more the on camera work than the voice acting. And that's what, Phil jumped at the chance to do it.
Yeah,
And he was a lovely person.
so
And
nice.
you got to add him to
The
your
poster.
your
I'm gonna.
lovely little rebel cats.
I'll show.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the whole poster, and sorry, my ring light is reflecting. I might have to tilt it. Um, we've added a lot of people to the poster at the show. 4 people. Phil. Where did we put Phil? We put Phil right near Zeb over
Yep.
here. Right over Hera. I felt like that made sense. Even as CUNY signed on top of Hera, we put Phil over Hera since hierarchy and they worked well together in the
Yeah.
show as
Mhm.
characters. Trying to find spots for people on this poster because it's so small was a challenge. But that was the only challenge we had because we spent a few minutes talking to Phil, took a nice selfie with him. You can find that on all of our Instagrams.
Yeah.
I posted everything I did at the show other than like eating, like truly. It was like I was like, I got a
No, we
photo,
didn't get any
posted.
photos at the restaurant.
Yeah.
No, we were all
It
just
was it was
wiped out.
really
Yeah.
yeah, that's how relaxing it was. So Spencer was saying Friday was relaxing. I felt the whole show was relaxing. Like we didn't feel stressed. It was a nice amount of time to get things done. We had a little bit of time with each person too. Like Phil talked to us for a while. He talked about how he had been signed to voice Kit Fisto first, and then they brought him in to do Bale because he could vocal match Jimmy Smits, as you were saying before.
Mhm.
And he's pretty close to Jimmy, honestly. He's not like a professional mimic, but he was actually really booked for Rhode Island Comic Con because they had a huge Futurama
Yeah.
situation. And by situation, they had the voices of Billy West, who plays Fry, um, Phil Lamar, who plays Hermes,
Katie
George.
Seagal, who plays Leela.
That's
Yeah.
the big get. That woman doesn't show up to anything. And let me tell you,
Mhm.
she's canceled more conventions than she's ever signed a contract for. So I was flabbergasted that she appeared because she
That's
was, and here's the
awesome.
funny thing, she was booked because of Sons of Anarchy. But as soon as you bring her in, it unlocks Futurama. And then
Mhm.
having the Futurama people there. And by the way, so did you guys see that giant statue of me posing with the Bender statue?
The
I
vendor
thought that was
statue.
a statue that like someone brought up that like just like I thought Rhode Island Comic Con put in a Bender statue, or it came with the voice actor John DiMaggio, and because it was right near him, some guy brought a giant like a life size Bender to get autographed by
A
everyone.
3D printed
Yeah,
hollow bender,
I
like
couldn't believe
life
it.
size.
I
He
really
had
thought it
it
was like,
on the dolly and everything. It was
oh yeah,
crazy.
he had like a little hand truck thing. I honestly thought it was like property of Rhode Island Comic Con or George. John,
John, yeah.
because it was right outside of his signing area. And as we were going over to Phil Lamar, I was like, "Oh, look at this giant bender! I better get a picture with it." And it was just belonged to some guy, and he wasn't paying attention for like the 10 seconds I'm posing with the statue. And I'm sure that's his nightmare, right? Is that someone's going to touch it. So that was crazy.
Yeah, it's
Um,
classic.
yeah, but the statue looked great, and
So good.
good
Like,
for him for getting all those Futurama people.
yeah.
Yeah. So we met Phil Lamar. We also met Jim Cummings. He was actually our first autograph of the day, and it was his birthday that weekend.
Yeah. It was his birthday actually on Friday, so we got to wish him a happy birthday and add him to your print as Hondo. That was
In
really cool.
in red ink on top of red. Oh my god, I can't even. So here's Jim Cummings over
Yeah.
the red, and it says Hondo. You can't even see it. It's not great, but it's very Hondo because of course it like blends into the thing, and he kind of messed it up,
Yeah.
right? So I like to joke
I
that like
wish
this
he
is
had
how
signed
Hondo
it
would have autographed something.
in a paint pen, something to, like, get it to stand out, or even silver, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I should have asked him to do silver. That was my fault. I actually really wanted green because Hondo was kind of green.
Yeah.
Not really like, but you know. So we met him. So we met Phil and Jim, and then we got into Brent Spiner's line, and of course Brent Spiner is best known for Star Trek: The Next Generation, right? And
Ada
I honestly
and
thought that,
Independence Day as the
yeah,
Doctor.
he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But Star Trek is his gig, and I figured he would have a line around the block. But because it was Friday, no one was there. We waited, what, 10 minutes to meet him, if
Yeah,
that.
if that. Yeah.
So, and he was delightful. I will say, we brought our Rebels Revisited cards to invite everyone to do our podcast and everything. And he was like, "I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. I will never do your show, or anyone's show or anyone's podcast." He apparently did one podcast. I think it was for Gates McFadden. He said,
Mhm.
right, and he like was like, "Never again."
Yeah.
And I don't think that's
And he did,
hard.
Michael,
Oh,
oh
Michael
gosh,
Rosenbaum. Yeah.
Rosenbaum show too, but that was it. Yeah.
Which now I'm wondering what happened on that show. Because first of all, Michael Rosenbaum's podcast is amazing.
It is.
We're going to take a little quick detour for a second. If you've never watched Michael Rosenbaum's podcasts, and it's actually recorded, so you can watch it as a video, and they're just hanging out in his apartment or his house or whatever. He interviews fascinating people. He had on Paula Abdul, and he really has like an hour-long limit to his episodes. And at one point they were like over time, and the producer was like, "Oh, we really, and he's like we're gonna keep going, like let's just let Paula go, right?" Like Paula Abdul's had the wildest life you've ever seen. She was also at Rhode Island Comic Con, which is why this is all
Yeah,
top
and
of
she's
mind
a
for me.
very wee lass. Like
Yeah, she's
she's
a
shorter than me,
she's
and I'm
5 feet of fury.
if
And
that.
so
Like she was
yeah,
wearing heels. Like
yeah, she's 80 pounds soaking wet, but like
seriously.
a survivor and
Yeah.
a fascinating woman. And her interview with Michael Rosenbaum on his podcast was like nothing I had ever seen. I was like, this is as crazy as you'd hope, right? But in the best way. So he's an excellent interviewer. And so now I need to go watch the Brent Spiner interview and be like, what did they talk about that he'll never do an interview again? But I also assume that, there's thousands of Star Wars podcasts and shows and everything else. And he's probably asked by all the Trekkers to do their shows. So he didn't even remember the name of the character he played or what happened to him, but he did have an interesting thought. Do you remember what he said about like what he thought happened to his character? Like he wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, he wasn't sure. He said that when they let the guy who had done Gargoyles is
The producer, Keith something, right?
no, it's like he's a well-known producer. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it.
I know, me too.
It's Christopher something. I forget. But he was a producer on Rebels for like season 1, and when they let him go, they basically let go of everybody that he had hired to do
That he brought on.
voicing outside of the main cast. And I take it that Brent did it because the guy was also one of the writers and one of the producers on Gargoyles, and
Mhm.
he was Puck on Gargoyles.
Oh, I didn't
So
realize. Yeah, oh, that's
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
that's his
So
connection.
so
He
that was pretty rad.
he
But
talked to us for a while.
yeah, he talked to us for a bit, and he was really, really nice, and he was really funny, and I was glad I got to meet him. As a big Next Gen fan,
Hmm.
growing up watching it with my uncle, it was just nice to meet him and see LeVar Burton next door again because, I'm a girl. I grew up reading books. I loved reading Rainbow,
Exactly.
and it was just so good to see these people. So,
LeVar
um,
Burton is the role model we all need right now, like leading with
absolutely,
empathy and education. So, and he and Brent were talking for like a hot second while we were standing over there, and I was like, well, this is just cool to watch because I know they're friends in real life, but they probably
yeah,
don't get to see each other very frequently. You
right,
know, everyone's busy schedules.
right,
But Brent was nice. We took a great selfie with him. I actually think he's our second best selfie because the
yeah,
one with Jim, I didn't get a picture with Jim. He actually
yeah,
wasn't feeling terribly well. You could tell that he was like kind of not up to being there. So we got our autograph, but then with Phil, we actually talked to him for quite a bit. We got a great selfie, me and Ashley and Phil. You can see, I think I've put most of this into the Facebook page already.
yeah.
And then we got the selfie keeps building because then when we got to Brent Spiner, it was me, Ashley, and Jen. And we didn't do it intentionally, but like Spencer was also there, and we literally handed him all of our stuff as we were getting in the picture, and he was like, "I would like to be part of the picture too." So he's
Oh,
actually in the background of like we're all posting the selfie, and he is also there, like right behind. It's so funny. Yeah, and Spencer held our bag.
yeah.
Um,
Thank
and
you.
so, but he's technically in the picture. We had like 4 or 5 shots, and there's one where he's like standing right like this. It looks like
He's
just
just
like Photoshop him in a little closer. But he's
to
technically in the
make him a
photo.
force ghost.
Yeah. So he got into the Brent Spiner picture,
Yeah.
and that was and honestly, I was like, okay, that is my like check and check. I'm truly done. I spent my money. It's what I wanted to do. And there was one other, like, well, I'll say alternate on the list, um, was Seth Green. And I was really worried that we were never going to get to meet Seth Green.
Yeah,
He
because he
never
doesn't
does. No, he
cons
never.
really this side of the coast,
No,
and
he never does anything. He never signed autograph for us at Tops.
oh, he
He's
says that Jim was better on Saturday.
Oh, good. That's good to hear because he actually looked like he just wasn't feeling well, and I was
Probably
worried. Like, yeah,
just had the birthday blues, maybe. I don't
yeah.
know.
Also, day one is hard. Like, we were there really early. The show opened at 3, and we were at his table at like 4 o'clock. Um, yeah, and as Spencer is mentioning, we did all meet Seth Green. So Seth Green might be the winning story from the convention, other than when we get to the meetup and we talk about Chris. Um, Seth Green was in the dunk. So for anyone unfamiliar with Rhode
Or
Island
the
Comic Con,
Amica Mutual Pavilion, as
we're
it's
never
now
going to call it
called.
that.
We're never gonna
Um,
call it that. We'll always
no,
call it the Dunk because it
it's
used to
the
be the Dunkin'
dunk.
Donut Center.
Yes,
So,
the ice skating rink where their minor league hockey team plays, right?
yep.
Like, so, and I've been in the dunk quite a few times. That's where we had Hayden Christensen when I brought him in 2018. But Rhode Island Comic Con's an interesting convention because it's two buildings. It's the convention center, which is attached to the skating rink,
Yeah.
and stadium. It's a stadium. I'm using all the sports terms over here. The ice skating rink, so the stadium, and yeah, it's the dunk. So the dunk and the convention center are connected through like a little bridge thing. And in the dunk were some of the, we'll say, more A-listy guests. So like the Carl Weathers of the world were in the dunk, along with like Katie Seagal and Seth Green. And
Ming-Na
Christina Ricci
Wen.
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at one point I
Evangeline
was,
Lilly, Carrie Ann Moss, Gina Gershon, all the
yeah,
Sons of Anarchy people, all the
yes,
Supermans, most of the
Superman's
Supermans.
is,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
most of
the
them. Brandon
Superman
Routh was in the
night.
dunk, but Dean Kane was in the main convention center, so I thought that was interesting. Um, but the dunk was where it was at. It was nice and cool in there too, because the ice like literally keeps the room cold.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the ice is still because the P Bruins play so often. It's the Providence Bruins, the minor league hockey team for the Boston
mhm,
Bruins. The ice is active under there, so they have to keep it a certain temperature underneath.
mhm,
Now I'm glad that they've graduated from like boards to actual like ice covering protecting plastic shield, so it's easier for us to walk on, and also it keeps the ice nice for the games and not lets it
yeah,
doesn't let it get so pitted. So yeah, I was really happy about that. But anyway, sorry.
yeah. No, it
Sports
is.
nerd.
It's the kind of thing where I remember I've been going to Rhode Island Comic Con for 10 out of the last. It's been around for 12 years. I think I've been to, and COVID canceled 2 of them. Of those 9 active shows over the last, or
Yeah.
11 active shows over the last 12 years or whatever, I've been to like 9 or 10 of them. Like I've missed very few.
Yeah.
Um, but like every year they get better at dealing with the temperature in the dunk because it's either boiling hot because they're trying to counteract the fact that you're on the ice, right? Or it's freezing in there and I've had to wear my coat. And when I was with Hayden, I remember it being a little cold. And because they're also standing there the whole day, like,
Well,
if
also
you're,
like 2017, they had all the photo ops in a heated tent in the parking lot outside.
it
So when you
didn't
take
have
the
heat.
exit,
Yeah.
and it didn't have heat. So like
Yeah.
Andy Serkis and Ian McDiarmid are in their photo ops with me wearing scarves and pea coats
Yeah.
because it was freaking freezing that weekend.
That
And
was a whole other thing. Remember our
oh
friend Mike, the security guard, who's now a police officer, was talking about how they moved the photo ops multiple times. And this year the photo ops are in the main convention center in the
on the
upstairs
fifth floor.
ballroom,
Yeah.
which is a different they've moved the photo ops every year. It's the one thing they can't seem to get right. But it seemed like it worked this year. Shout out to Epic. They actually do a really good job. It's just placement of photo ops that seems to be an issue. But so coming back to Seth Green, so
Yes.
we're on the
Seth.
ice skating rink in the
Yes.
hockey arena, at Rhode Island Comic Con. I was like, well, let's go down and take a look at like what Seth Green's line is like. And we had hopped through once before, and it was like a little long. And I was like, well, I don't really feel like waiting, but let's do the rest of our tasks. Let's all regroup because we had like a little group with us. Spencer was there, Jen was there, you're there, Joanna. And who else was there on Friday? Skip and Bridget were there.
Yep.
I don't think Liberty was in yet. Kathy got in on Saturday. Like that was sort of the core group of us.
Yeah.
Um,
Alan and
um,
AJ were there, and
that's right. Yes. So your
yeah.
boyfriend Alan, who I got to meet in person, which was very exciting. Keith was there. So by the time we got to our little group, it ended up being like all of the people who had nothing left to do on Friday afternoon Like, let's all walk to the dunk and see if Seth Green has a line. And he actually did have a decent sized line, but it was moving with decent speed too. I was like, you know what? This is your shot. Like, he's a little on the expensive side, but he never does this. Let's go meet Seth Green. And I didn't think it was going to be amazing, and it ended up being amazing. I thought it was going to be good. Like, I just, I figured he's just going to be moving through
Yeah.
people quickly. Seth Green is a nerd in a lot of ways. Family Guy, Robot Chicken, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's been an actor since he's a child, right? Like, he's been in this industry
Yep.
forever. But I also know that he doesn't like signing autographs because he never did it for Tops and he never does public appearances. That's kind of his thing, right? So I wasn't sure what really prompted all this,
The
because it's not
strike.
like. Possibly, and I think
Yeah.
that might have helped bring people out, but, like,
Yeah.
because I was trying to understand, like, what is he here for? Like, it's clear that Katie Seagal was here for Sons of Anarchy, and she never does anything, right? And there are certain other people where it's like, all right, Carrie Ann Moss is there, who you're gonna talk about in a second. Like, there were people that made sense for whatever property they were promoting, like, all of the Breakfast Club were there, like, the whole Brat Pack, right? They got all 5 of them upstairs.
Except
Um
Emilio.
Sure, yeah. Oh, yeah,
And
5
the
out of the 6. So, that all
yeah.
makes sense to me, but I was like, "Why is Seth Green here?" And I couldn't think of a thing that he was just latched onto. He was just there because he's in so many properties.
Mhm.
So we get in the line. We're not waiting very long. It's like 7 of us now, so if I should actually pull up the selfie, but we met him.
We took several, so that they're even they're progressively interesting as more photos get taken.
Yeah,
Everybody just like
we just
scrunches
keep
in.
adding to it.
It was great.
Um, this is the picture with Seth Green, and he took it. So he had it at his table. He was super nice. I hope everyone can see that. So me,
Scotty.
Jen, Spencer, Ashley. There's Seth right there. Like, it was a
Alan's
moment right there.
there.
Alan and his son
Keith
popped
is
in.
there.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
really it's a moment. He was super
Joanna's
nice.
behind me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Oh yeah, this one's better. You can see Joanna better in this one. So
Joanna's not hiding behind me.
yeah, there we go. There's Joanna. She makes it in that one. So we
Yay.
trusted Seth to take the picture. I'm like squished down like this, trying to. Seth takes up like 20% of the selfie. Um, so he was super nice. We talked about Star
Yeah.
Wars. Because he didn't know what he's going to sign. I think most people you get to the table. Christina Ricci knows she's signing something from Wednesday, something from Adam's Family, or something from Casper. That's probably the big three, or maybe Yellow Jackets now, right? But
Yeah,
Seth
yeah.
Green, you could sign anything for Seth Green. He's in so many items. He said he was getting a lot of Buffy, not a lot of Star Wars. Yeah, Austin Powers. Um, so we're talking about Star Wars. He signs my poster, and I put him right next to Sarah Michelle, which was very
I
cool.
love that he's Seth Green and he signs in green,
In
and
green.
I think he's the only one in green on your poster.
He is, because I should have had Hondo in green also, but also because his character, Captain Seaver, is a Trandoshan, which he knew because I was like, "Oh yeah, you guys like a lizard. Let's go green." Also because of his last name, and he's like, "Yes, he's a Trandoshan," and he started talking extensively about his character, and
Yeah.
then wrote underneath Toto 360, and I was like, "Sir, you have signed the absolute wrong character." And he cracked up, and he's like, "Toto's not in Rebels," and it's because he forgot he recorded for Bad Batch, and so he's
Yeah.
like, so I was like, "Well, just add Captain Seaver underneath, and then I've got a comprehensive character list for you." See, that's why I love this poster. It is
Yeah.
weird and wacky. I've got multiple two
And there's
marks on
always a
here.
story to
Yeah,
it. Like that's what I love about it. There's a story and a photo for
exactly.
most things on that, and it's
I've
great.
got Hondo in the wrong color because he's sick and not feeling well. I got
Oh.
Seth Green in green, with the wrong character over here, right next to Sarah Michelle. And all of these two marks are because it was largely working with them in the green room, right? Like the fact that Sam Witwer's on here, like, I mean, Dave Filoni meeting me in the green room in 2019, like at Celebration. That's the kind of thing where I said as soon as I got him on the poster, I will pay whatever money it takes to fill the rest of the poster with everyone else in the
Absolutely, dude.
cast. Like,
That's
because he's
incredible.
he's the unlock there. From
Yep.
there it's like everyone else. I'm going to pay the money. I'm going to do it. So, um, that was Friday. That was Friday
Oh,
during the con.
Spencer.
Oh
Does
yes,
Dave know about you guys?
yeah, and which didn't it all seem like a threat? But
Yeah.
so Seth Green literally asked us because we told him about our show. By the way, we spent way too much time at Seth Green's table to the point where I could see out of the corner of my eye the agent sort of looking at us, and I'm like, "Don't make eye contact." You can sort of like pretend it's not happening. That
We're
she's trying to,
legit.
yeah,
We're legit.
shuffling us along. So we gave him our Rebels Revisited card. He thought that was very cool that we had a show about Rebels, and he literally asked us like, "Oh, does Dave know about you guys?" As if one were on a first name basis with the man, and I guess so is Seth. And I was like, no, but Anne probably does,
Yeah,
because
Anne definitely
Anne.
knows about
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
So he didn't
Anne's a
say he would
friend,
do the
so
show
she's got
necessarily,
us.
but he was
Yeah.
very interested in all things that we were talking about and very delightful. I would highly recommend if you have a chance to meet Seth Green, go
Do
do it
it.
because
Yeah.
even the people in front of us who had quicker interactions all got something really meaningful from him. And he said
Mhm.
he wrote quotes, said something cool, like just was a nice guy.
Absolutely. And that's all that matters. Like I'm kind of like mixed feelings on Don't Meet Your Heroes. But yeah, as Jeff said, he's met him a few times and he's always cool. Um, I know artists who have gotten like originals of their art in his house as
Oh, wow.
being the big nerd that he is. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So he embraces the nerddom, he embraces the fandom, and I think that's really cool. I expected that the opposite, honestly, and I'm so glad I was wrong. So
Yeah.
that made me
No,
happy.
I knew he was gonna be good. I just didn't think it was gonna be that like, I'd have that much of a story to share about Seth Green,
Oh,
which is
Mike,
great
you're
because I
not
love
kidding.
Buffy. Um, oh, so,
Spencer too, yeah.
immediately after that, Spencer had to meet, Brandon Routh for, Scott Pilgrim. He wanted a picture of I guess he's X number 3, if I'm
Mm,
remembering correctly. I'm not as like, I know that movie, but I'm not, like, a big fan of that movie. So, of course, I
it's
know
fun,
him best
yeah.
as, like, Superman, and all the Supermanses were there. It was
And
Tom
the Adam
Welling, Brandon Routh and Tom Welling,
Tyler
Dean
Hoechlin.
Cain, and Tyler. Yeah, I always forget Tyler's name because I don't keep up with the newest one. Um, and so, the 4 of them were doing, like, a big, like, group photo. But yeah, so Brandon Routh plays Todd Ingram, right, in Scott Pilgrim.
The
Yeah,
vegan.
yeah, the vegan. So he signed some quote for Spencer that Spencer can put in the chat because I don't remember what it was, but he was really nice, and I jumped into his photo op. So
I
since we
would have
allowed
cried.
Spencer into into our group ones,
Yeah.
I jumped into his group photo, with Brandon Routh.
I
So I have
love
a
you
cute
guys, but
picture
I'm
of
I'm
Superman.
honestly glad I missed that because Brandon Routh was one of my uncle's favorite Superman actors, and also he loved watching Legends of Tomorrow and seeing
Mm,
him as Ray the Atom. Um, yeah, tell it to the cleaning lady on Tuesday is what Spencer got added to his feast.
that's what it was.
That
Yeah,
was really cool. But yeah, I probably would have cried, and it would have been kind of sobby. So I love that you
yeah.
guys got that photo, and I'm glad I missed it.
Oh,
Okay,
Sherry met Seth Green.
yeah, my Seth Green story is at Celebration 4. I went to a Robot Chicken panel, but he wasn't on the panel. Instead, he was sitting in the audience and he was directly in front of me. I think I said hi, but I was too Star Trek to say anything else. That's so crazy. He wasn't in his own panel, but I guess he just wanted to sit back and let the actors talk about it. So that's really kind of wild. I was not expecting that either. Like,
Yeah. Celebration 4, that feels like 1,000 years ago,
oh, I
right?
know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
oh,
definitely pre-Lucasfilm, because they're not numbered anymore. They're just year and location, which the next one is Japan 25,
oh,
which I can't even think about right
I
now.
can't.
Just
Nar.
getting out of this show, I was so exhausted today, at work, and everyone was like, "How was your weekend?" And I was like,
I fell asleep
"Wonderful.
in
I'm
the
gonna die."
recliner. Yeah.
Yeah, I slept. I definitely fell asleep for a good like 20 minutes on the train ride home.
Oh,
Um,
good.
Los Angeles. Okay. See, I don't need. Yeah,
LA.
I never went to a celebration before 2015, so I was never at one that was pre
2019 was my
Disney.
first one, so yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we actually need to jump into the episode.
Yeah,
Um, and then as it's playing, we're going to talk about Hondo, which is great
speaking of
because
Hondo.
yeah, we met Jim Cummings, so the timing on this was perfect, which is why, and this is Hondo's debut episode in Rebels, so this couldn't have been more organically synced up. And then we'll talk more about Rhode Island Comic Con to be continued.
Yeah.
Um, all right, do we want to? All right, let's queue up our Disney Plus. It's season 2, episode 6, Brothers of the Broken Horn. And then Jeff, you can hit that countdown.
Woo!
Commence primary ignition.
My
I
Disney
was gonna
plus
say
to the
that would
whale.
be it.
Oh, there you go. You're okay.
Well, I was gonna say that was a long countdown, but Jeff sped it up. Yeah, Keith, I'm a beat man. On my feet
Yeah,
for
dude.
3 days, and and as I'm saying it back now, we did a lot. We did do a lot this weekend, even though it was a
We did.
luxuriating weekend. It was still a good amount of tasks. Um,
I love Chopper running around with the helmet. I have that on a keychain, which I'm going to give to Mark
I need a
because I got an
keychain.
extra.
We have a
It's
keychain
Chopper wheeling
exchange.
himself around with the helmet on his hand. He's just like, oh, okay.
I love that. I met a really fantastic cosplayer, Rebel Mom Cosplay.
Woo.
Damn it, you can't see it. Rebel. Oh, I need to
It's your
cover
ring
the
light.
light.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
Rebel Mom Cosplay,
Love
and she
it.
made this keychain.
The
Uh,
Halcyon.
yeah, it's
What?
beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Um,
It's all
so
sparkly
I'm
too.
so I'm gonna send this to Ashley, and
What?
we're gonna do a little keychain exchange. So,
Okay.
and she's sending me a chopper. If you don't
Is
want
there
it, I know Jamie will. So it's up to you. You guys pick.
no? It's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah. Um. Oh, and
Hi,
get
Soka.
off my poster. Oh, he heard the plastic. That's
He
why.
like,
Oh,
I love plastic.
one other thing I got. So other than aside from buying my autographs and selfies with the stars, I didn't buy anything, but I did come back with at least one piece of memorabilia. This is my Imperial citation because I was wearing an Imperial officer uniform on Saturday, and I was just wearing the tunic. I wasn't wearing the pants. I wasn't wearing the boots. Yeah, that's Amber. You're right, Spencer. That's Amber, the rebel cosplay mom who made this. So thank you, Amber. See, I'm terrible with names. This happens to me all the time. Um, and so one of the 501sters, who, by the way, was really, really
I
nice,
j-
and
oh,
he's
sorry. I just
oh,
noticed
okay.
that they have like a Tie Fighter kill count on the top of the Ghost. I never noticed that
They do.
before.
Of course they do. Um, it's in the thousands. Look at it go. Oh, Chopper. He's gonna need to count in tens. Uh, this one,
Probably.
he wrote me up for missing rank badge because and I was like, girl, it's my Saturday look. I'm super casual. Meanwhile, the tunic I was wearing is a size too big. The hat I was wearing was 2 sizes too big. I didn't have a rank badge. The belt was like trying to pull me in, not regulation pants, and I was in sneakers. I was like, I'm barely making it through. But the 501st was handing these out, which then of course linking to Make a Wish. So if anyone wants to
Yay.
click the QR to make a donation, that's what they
Yeah.
were doing at like all 501st events. They're working for Make a Wish, right? And Kathy Chase, who is our events director for the group, was there, and she actually had a Make a Wish kid who she brought around on Sunday to meet Chris Bartlett and Katie O'Brien and a bunch of other people at the 501st activation. So congrats to Kathy on everything she did and the entire execution at activation. I keep saying execution. The activation at Rhode Island Comic Con from the 501st and the Rebel Legion was spectacular. How many pictures did we take, Ashley, at
Oh
that
God.
section?
I don't
I,
even know. I have a bunch on my phone. Um. Oh, jeez.
it was ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
most of my photos from the show were at the 501st section.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Like, and this really awesome Count Dooku cosplayer. He was fantastic. Had to get a photo of him. Just so many good people. Like, seriously, look at us. We're just so badass with Sarah as Hera and Chopper. It was just so much fun. Mark in his Wednesday costume.
yes, I had 3 costumes. My Imperial Officer, which was less than fully complete. I'll show everyone the way it looked. The ring light is killing me, but yeah, there we go. That's the
Love
officer look.
it.
It doesn't look bad. It's not
Yeah.
bad. My first day outfit though, my doctor outfit was definitely the winner. Um, especially because it's kind of just like a blue suit, but when you add the glasses and the sonic screwdriver, and because I'm wearing sneakers, it actually really works. And then on the final day, I had my Wednesday jacket, the Nevermore Academy look, which was um, so easy because it was actually a lot of re-wearing of what I already had from earlier in the week. But yeah, this
Yeah.
one, there we go. This is right here. And of course, officially licensed from Rubies.
That looks so
Oh,
good.
here's Hondo. He's on our screen.
It's our boy,
Yep. Jim
Hondo.
Cummings is just amazing in this role. I was watching the Rebels Recon episode for this episode, and they said that Hondo's like the watch out of what would have happened to Ezra if he had not met everyone on the Ghost. Like this is one of the paths he could have gone down.
Yeah, he would have
And
been a pirate.
yeah, he was sort
I
of
believe
headed
it.
toward it, right? Street rat kind of running around stealing stuff.
Thief. Yeah.
Yeah. But what Hondo says in the episode is, "You're no pirate. You actually have like a heart or whatever." Is very like you are a Jedi. Sort of reinforces the fact that from the outside, um, Ezra's not a villain, and he has like good in him in a big way.
and Ezra's going by Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, it's either Jabba or Lando or whoever. There's always a fake name, an alias, as it were. Yeah, so the 501st activation at Rhode Island Comic Con was spectacular. We took a ton of pictures up there. Everything they did was great, as always. You can see all those pictures on our Facebook pages. Me, Ashley, Spencer, we all posted a ton of stuff. And then regarding the actors, there were a lot of great people there. Daniel Logan, who I love, he's a friend of mine. Chris Bartlett, who, of course, is our newest inductee into the Virtual Cantina Hall of Fame, which is so, so, so exciting. We did that induction on Friday night. So this is what I'm saying. Like we did so much at this show, which is kind of crazy. We got all of our autographs done, all 4 of them on day 1, and then you have to talk about Carrie Ann Moss too.
Yeah.
And then Friday night we had the big meetup at Dave and Buster's, and the meetup at Dave and Buster's was a blast. Like this was
So
the
fun.
place to be. We had what did we have, about 30 people popped in.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people who saw this ad on Facebook and just came, and that was really awesome. Like it just felt good to have people want to be part of the group and hang out with us, and yeah, that was really awesome. But yeah, it was a nice crowd at Dave and Buster's. We had a phenomenal waitress. She kept everybody taken care of, and she was really cool. So I hoped everybody tipped her well.
We
Um,
did, yeah.
yeah,
I know I did. But yeah, I think across the board. And yeah, the service was terrific. We had a couple special guests, Nalini Krishan and Mario Yaya.
they were
Um,
fantastic. It was so good to see
they
them at the
popped in.
at the meetup, and
I'm turning off the ring light. I'm just gonna turn it off. It's making me crazy.
just drive me cuckoo.
There we go. So
Hi, Joker.
that's the picture of Mary and Nalini and their agent, whose name I'm blanking on. Spencer can put it in the chat. And then here's the picture of us inducting Chris, which was really cool.
Taken by me.
One of the things we should have done, and I feel stupid now, is we should have added like an extra box where I could have uploaded some pictures so we could actually have this like.
I
But
know.
all of this is on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
David Mule is the agent who brought in Mary and Nalini, which we had them sign autographs for us at Tops. But Mary had said the last time she had done an American convention was like 15 years ago or something. Like it had
That's
been
a
a
shame.
long time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a shame. But I'm
I
glad
know.
that they're back, and I'm hoping they got a lot of love this weekend because they're phenomenal women.
Yes, and it certainly seemed like they did because like they were right next to each other, which is very smart. They had a joint photo op, like a dual photo, um, that you can get signed for the 2 of them, which was very smart. Um, yeah, and then they were just really nice ladies too. I talked to them for a minute, and then Katie O'Brien was there. Which where is my? Do you have your sticker in front of you? I don't have mine because I left them
Um,
at work. I got this whole stack of stickers from Katie O'Brien
yeah,
about eating the biscuits.
it
We
says
got to spend
Tongs Days. Am I right?
yeah,
And she's
every
eating the
autograph.
biscuit, and it was so funny. And I'm like, oh my god, I gotta put the sticker on my laptop. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's why I brought mine to work. Um, so yeah, she signed every autograph basically with "Come to the dark side, we have biscuits," and she was delightful. By the way, she's just like a very nice person
Yeah,
and so sweet,
and
very
she's
funny in the panel too.
so totally. She's Jen Torra also in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania, the badass warrior queen in the quantum
Hmm.
realm, and so she was
Yes,
signing those autographs as well. And
she had some
Z Nation.
zombie show. What's
Yeah,
the
Z
one?
Nation.
That's the one. See, I knew something with a Z. I was like,
Yeah.
it's Z something. I
That's
never
where
watched it.
oh, sorry. That's where
Yeah,
my boyfriend recognized her from. I'm sorry, a
yeah.
second. She jumped right into my hand. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
and I'm sure there's more coming. She seems to be booked and blessed. And so she was pretty busy. In fact, at one point I was helping out at her table. So she was there. Daniel Logan was there, who I've known for years.
It's
He
good to
was
see
very
Daniel.
busy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's terrific. Um, oh yeah, there'll be a bumper with Katie. So
Yeah,
that's
we got some
cool.
great ones. Woohoo.
Yes. Um, and yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that bumper. Some interesting info potentially coming in there. Uh, and then what else? Who else was there? Who am I blanking on? There were so many people. All right. Oh, tell us about Carrie Ann Moss. Was this everything you dreamed of and more?
Oh my gosh. So I was debating on meeting Carrie and Moss, but due to like, some last minute bills coming through, I was like, okay, I have to pick people to meet. So I figured Josh Radnor hadn't done con since literally the final season of How I Met Your Mother almost 10 years ago. It was a little more rare to have him on something, and had a poster from when he came to University of Rhode Island in 2015 and did a talk, and it meant a lot to me. So I had him sign the poster, and I got to meet him and get a photo with him. I know it's not Star Wars related, but it still meant a lot to me. So yeah, you can kind of see it there. He plays Lonnie Flash on Amazon
Oh,
Prime's Hunters. Sweetheart of a guy. He played a free show at Trinity Brew House on Friday night. Um, so I got to do that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get to meet Carrie Ann Moss. Whatever, I've made my peace with it. She'll do another con hopefully soon. Now that she's gonna be on the Acolyte and this new Star Wars show that's coming out in the next couple of years. Um, I just was like ready to let it go, and then my wonderful friend Robert, who is a regular con goer, he got a photo op with Carrie Ann, and I ran into him, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to be in my photo op? You're wearing a Matrix shirt," and I'm like, "Can I?" Like I was just losing my
nice.
shit. So
Yeah.
I jumped in with him and his friend Isis, who is a lovely girl, and we got our photo with Trinity, and I was so freaking stoked. I don't know.
Is she in
Yeah.
heels or is she really that tall?
No, she had like a little kitten heel on her boot, but yeah, she's tall.
Yeah, I
She's
thought she was naturally pretty tall.
she's probably like
Um,
5'9", 5'10".
yeah,
So
which for a
it's taller
lady,
than
that's
me. Yeah.
very tall. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really
And if she's
excited.
even wearing a little kitten heel, she's gonna be, close to 6 foot.
So I figured I'd check out official pics to get my Matrix autograph, and once I had some extra money, and
Yeah,
I
it's a good
got to
idea.
meet her, and she goes, "I love your shirt. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you guys." Like she was lovely, absolutely lovely. And I
I've
know
heard nothing but good things about her.
photo ops are quick, but it's just it meant the world to me. So thank you, Robert, and thank you, Carrie Ann. It was just I cannot wait to see her in the Acolyte, and I have to give her a beefy roll because she's a badass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so
Spencer got
excited
a
about that.
killer piece from her.
Yeah,
Um,
Spencer, you have to post a picture of that in the
yeah.
either in the Facebook group or in this chat if you haven't already done so,
Oh, so she
because
didn't tell you the character name, huh?
it's
Oh.
almost right. Speaking of Spencer, I do want to show everyone the
Oh,
picture. Oh,
this
what am
is
I getting?
sorry, this is when, Chopper goes blasted.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh my God, that's like the meme. Okay, so there's Brent Spiner, Jen, me, Ashley, and there's Spencer. Oh my God, holding our stuff. That's our bag. That's my bag. Oh my God, I like. It was not until there you go. That's the crop point right there. Vroom, 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 vroom.
Sorry, Spencer.
Which, by the way, one of the things we need to do as I think we talked a little bit about it last time. Oh no, he's dead. Um,
I really thought he was dead. I was like, "Oh my
no,
god,
they're
he's
not
gonna
gonna
go out."
kill Hondo. Um,
Well, when I was watching this the first time, I really thought he was dead because 'cause I'm like, "He's gonna go right out the freaking airlock. Oh my lord."
mhm.
And
As
he's
Morgan, on the other time, on the other hand,
no
mm,
loss. No
yeah,
loss. Chopper's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah."
yeah, so good. This is, by the way, I almost feel bad that we're like neglecting this episode. We may have to revisit this episode at a later time because Rhode Island Comic Con is becoming a full-on conversation. We haven't even talked about the induction yet for Chris.
Yeah.
Um, but like we'll know for next year. This really feels like a mini celebration. Uh, it was such a great time. I'm so glad you got to meet Carrie because aside from being an icon of the Matrix,
Which is
and I
one of my favorite movies ever. Like the whole
yeah,
series. I love all of the films.
yeah, they're terrific. Her being like basically the lead of the next series is going to be, it's going to be a blast. Like it's going to be
Yeah.
really, really fun.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
Be a
look at
pirate
that.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hondo's like, I get into scrapes, I steal some stuff, you save my
Oh,
booty.
here we go. Spencer texted me a picture of Carrie Ann Moss's autograph on the Acolyte piece. Sorry, the glare is just there we
Ooh,
go. Yeah, gorgeous. And she has a little heart on there. And look,
love
she's
her.
top and center above, the name of the show. You can't ask for more at this point, right? We don't have a poster. We
Yes.
got nothing. We don't have a release date. Um, yeah. So Hondo referencing Anakin, they talk a little bit about this in Rebels Recon. So coming back to the actual episode, Hondo um, actually, they talk about in Rebels Recon. Uh, Andy Gutierrez talks about how Hondo loved Obi-Wan, and even though they feuded and in some cases like nearly killed each other, like Hondo knew that the Jedi made his life interesting, and he actually really profited very bigly from like the Clone Wars. So
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing where he misses that, and so having a Jedi back in the mix, he sees nothing but dollar signs and
Yeah.
adventure. So, and they also talk about how Hondo's a gray character, but he's not evil. So he
Yeah.
usually makes like a selfish choice and he should be punished for that, but also he's like too damn likable. Like which is so like how Jim Cummings brings him to life. Yeah. Can't I agree, Jeff. We can't have enough Hondo. I
No.
want a whole show with him. I hope he's in Skeleton Crew. That's the only thing I can think. And I don't think it's Jaleel White. I don't trust those rumors.
Yeah, I don't
I think
either.
he's probably another pirate. I think Jaleel White is like probably someone else.
Oh,
Oh, and
poor
there's
Vizaga.
Sakatra Vizago. Never liked him. He was a good season one villain, right? The season one villains are like very minor by comparison to like the threats we face later in the series. Like Sakatra Vizago is just like a low level like pirate criminal type.
That's why it's called the Broken Horn.
Sherry, that's interesting. Sherry is saying that she watched Rebels first and thought of Hondo as comic
Yeah,
relief, which
same.
is
So when I
interesting.
watched Clone Wars during the pandemic, I was in shock because he was actually
Yeah.
like a villain.
Oh, he kills people in the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
yeah. He's got another long redemption arc that I'm not 100% on board with, but we love him.
Exactly, Sherry. Same thing. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
what? He just.
Yeah. His introduction is I mean, he's look, he takes down Obi-Wan. He, like, drugs
Hmm.
everyone and, like, he could
He's
have killed Obi-Wan, which
ruthless.
is
Yeah.
nuts.
Yes.
But
Thank
yeah,
you,
his
Jeff. Same.
Smuggler's Run, I wanna team up with who doesn't wanna team up with Hondo? I mean, if I were go I know we already did the draft with the Nerf herders, but if you need, like, a pirate type, like, he's the one. I like Ezra right now trying to resolve the conflict resolution coming through from
Between
Ezra.
two
He's more
pirates.
yeah.
Come on. No. No.
Oh
Oh, dude.
yikes.
No. Zago, you're so shady.
Yep.
Whoa.
But Hondo helps out Ezra, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. So many good things.
And this is still season 2, so we're letting
Yeah.
Ezra slice down droids. He's not killing any people or anything.
God, I love that lightsaber.
I know. I just makes
I
me so
have
sad
my
that we're not
I
going to
have
have
my
like a high-end
plastic
version.
I have my plastic version over there, and I got my NeoPixel in its case over there. It's just like, it's great. It's the
That's neat.
closest I'll ever get to getting it. By the way, they announced today that the Stellan Geos crossaber lightsaber will be available on Shop Disney on the 17th at 8 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. I have to double check that. I'm pretty sure I texted Jamie and said it was 8 p.m., but I will make sure. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. Pacific, so 11 p.m. Eastern, Life Day, and
Life Day.
also the
Merch Day.
Merch Day. Yeah, and the Kanan Jarrus lightsaber slash Caleb Doom lightsaber will be available on Shop Disney on November 29th. So I will be picking that up
Nice. By
excitedly.
the way, we do not work for them.
No,
However, we want you to be
prepared
in the
in the
know.
know.
Yeah. And I'm sure, by the way, we're 2 weeks out from Black Friday, basically. So
I
everyone be
know.
on the lookout. I'm sure Her Universe, Hasbro, certainly Denuo Novo, we're all going to have deals and sales. So start looking now. I've already received multiple emails from various companies, a lot of apparel companies, telling me to click now to like log in and get pre-entry codes for special savings for members only. It is getting
For
more and
socks.
more complicated. Exactly, for socks, which was my joke. I was like, for socks and t-shirts probably and whatever else. I actually need long sleeve t-shirts, which I'm thinking treat yourself to a T Public from us. I might do
Yes.
that. I might buy some long sleeve versions of stuff because all I have are these t-shirts. And I was telling Ashley, like, I either need more sleeveless or more long sleeve, but I don't need more short sleeve shirts. Like, I'm good on t-shirts.
Oh, he's up there telling the story about Ezra.
Yeah, at one point I might have joined my crew.
Oh,
Mhm. This is the lesson of the episode. It's very sweet.
oh.
Oh, Hondo.
He's got his big cachet full of
Yeah,
cash.
yeah.
Oh, Mike, you got your Kanan saber. I'm so excited. Yeah, Jamie was really excited about that and the fact that it came apart and had two belt clips, just like Kanan's in the show. So I was excited to hear that. Oh,
Really good episode. Sorry we talked so much Rhode Island Comic Con through it. But I also think we're gonna be on forever. We're just gonna rewatch them again. It's gonna be
yeah.
Rebels Revisited squared when we
Like
rewatch
like new
like
stuff.
buckets of
Okay,
stuff.
so we've watched this episode before and I have never noticed
I
those
didn't either. The TIE fighter
kills
clicks.
for the TIE
Oh,
fighters. So
yeah.
you learn something new every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um, All right, so coming back to Rhode Island Comic Con, because we
of
actually sort
course.
of buried the lead. The most important thing that happened this weekend was the induction of Chris Bartlett into the Virtual Cantina Hall of Fame. So, number one, Chris, if you're watching this, and I hope you are, because I was trying to guilt you into watching, congratulations! It
Congratulations,
was
Chris.
yeah, it's long. I shouldn't say long overdue because we just started the Virtual Cantina Hall of Fame, but like well deserved. He's been on the network 8 times on our
8 times.
shows,
Yeah.
and he came to the Boonta Eve in 2022. And he's just a huge advocate for our network. He's a like personal friend of many of us. Weirdly, I know him through work somehow too. Like it's strange how these worlds intersect, right? The worlds between worlds keep intersecting, like the spaghetti in the multiverse. So he is a great person, fantastic guest,
Yes.
excellent actor, plays multiple roles, and he's right
Sweetheart
now
of a
doing
guy.
the yeah, he's also the hat trick. He's got Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Ahsoka show. So the three live action projects so far. Oh, Book of Boba Fett too.
Mhm.
He's in all four of them. Sorry, I was missing Ahsoka for a second, but like the first three, and he's in all four. He's 4 for 4 on live action
Yeah.
projects for Star Wars,
He's completed the
playing
hat
various
trick.
characters. Yeah, it's very very true. So,
Yes.
and just like a really nice person in general too. Like there are some people who are very famous and they're like not that interesting or like not that friendly. And then there are other people who are just like excellent people at like all turns. Like Chris is just a good guy all around. And he's making quite the name for himself in Star Wars and continually getting booked in all of these projects and bringing really interesting characters to life, which is just so cool to see. So,
It really is.
thrilled for all his successes. I got to help Spencer induct him, which so you should see me writing my notes of like what we wanted to say. So if you're
Yeah.
wondering why I'm standing there doing this next to Chris when he's getting his awards, because I gave the little intro to him, and then Spencer presented him with the purple crystal, his gem, along with the certificate, which is like the thing we do for the Hall of Fame. So very very cool.
That was so awesome. And he does give back to the fans and
Yeah,
he interacts with us here at the network. He didn't have to, but like
yeah.
he's part of it and I really appreciate it. So it was so fun to get to induct him this weekend and to be there for it and to get to hang out with him a little bit. So
We should put together a little mini playlist on the YouTubes of the Chris episodes. Maybe like I also think we're probably going to look into doing some YouTube shorts at some point. And like maybe there's some like mini clips of like quick fun moments, because I think it would be funny to see like because Chris is very witty and he says some like every now and then he'll just say something and that's just like, where'd you pull that quote from? Um, and I think people would appreciate that. So we'll put
Yeah.
together like a Chris watch along for you guys because he's been on the watch along, as we said, 8 times. Um, so there's a lot of Chris content on the network. And more to come. I think once the strike is over, we'll be able to get people back for celebrity visits, which is something that we're desperate to get going over here again on Rebels Revisited, because we had so much
Yes.
fun with all of our people this summer, with like Vanessa Marshall coming on and Caitlin
Yes.
Young.
Oh my
Like,
God.
yeah,
Such good people.
yeah, we got to
So
get back to that.
back to that.
Yeah. So what else from Rhode Island Comic Con? We talked about the meetup, which it was so much fun. By the way, it was so much fun seeing everyone in person. That's what it's all about. Whether I got to meet celebrities or not, we got to see our friends and walk around the convention, and we did a lot of walking around.
Oh yeah.
It's not
My
a
feet
big
were
show, so
working.
yeah, it was just a lot of like on Saturday. It really hit me on Saturday. I was just like, oh my god, everything hurts. It was very crowded Saturday. So Friday was light, Saturday was too crowded, and then Sunday was really light again. So if you had any leftover business on Sunday, it was the day to like complete your transactions. The Star Wars panel was Sunday, and
Hmm.
I thought the panel was really good.
Oh,
There's
good.
Carl Weathers, Katie O'Brien, Carrie Jones, Spencer Wilding, who plays Darth Vader in Rogue One, Nalini Krishnan, Mario Yaya, who we've already talked about at length, Chris Bartlett, um, and I believe, and Daniel Logan. So like the 9 of them or whatever it was. And they're all from various parts of Star Wars. Some of them are prequel era, so Nalini and Mary and Daniel are from the prequels, and then everyone else is from like the new stream of content, with Spencer Wilding being from Rogue One, and everyone else were being from like the Mandoverse. And so they just brought everyone Star Wars over there, minus Phil Lamar, because I'm thinking they weren't thinking of the voice actor. Like he was part of the Futurama panel.
Yeah.
And I think they ask you to do one panel, and it would make more sense for him to do Futurama. So these guys talked extensively about Star Wars and answered questions about behind the scenes. It was filmed by Rhode Island Comic Con like professionally, and they asked us not to take pictures and not to videotape. So I don't know if they're going to release that somewhere at some point, but they don't have like an active YouTube page, so I don't know what that video will become. But I know that Daniel Logan's agent was, or manager or handler, or someone was filming for him. So we may start seeing pieces of that hit the internet this week, I hope.
Yeah. I hope so, because I want to hear all about that. And
Yeah, it was a
it's
good
nice to
panel.
have like the past and the future, and also how the past can become the future. In
Yes.
case of Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor and things like that. So you never
Yeah.
know. You never know in Star Wars.
The prequel era is now the thing we're going back to. We were mining the original trilogy to create a lot of what was happening, and I would argue that like the new trilogy 7, 8, 9 feels like a sequel to the classic trilogy, and actually almost overlooks the prequels. And then everything we're doing now is going back to the prequels, right? So the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the Ahsoka show, like we're pulling from prequels and Clone Wars and building on that, uh, a lot more so than anything from 4, 5, and 6, from what I see. Like even though Mando is set in like 6.5, it doesn't feel like a sequel to Return of the Jedi at
No, it
all.
doesn't.
It really kind of feels like its own thing and pulling from a lot of what was done in the prequel era. So, which I appreciate. Like Star Wars evolves over time, and I'm here for it. And I also want to get out of the Skywalker saga era. I'm sure everyone is ready for that. Acolyte, wherever it's set. If I even hear the name Skywalker, I'll throw a chair. It's bad enough that like Yoda might be in it. You know what I mean? Like just clean slate. Like everyone seems to love the High Republic, so let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I mean, really excited for it. I'm excited for new possibilities in Star Wars, and something that hasn't been around for 40 years, like something that's fresh and new. Um, which is probably why I'm looking forward to Skeleton Crew so much.
Yeah, that's going to be really good. Knowing sight unseen, because we literally know nothing. It's
Not a
going to be
thing.
about kids on some type of Goonie style mission, right? That's the last I heard.
With Jude Law, A
Yeah,
plus.
I will say, we've been talking a lot about delays and not knowing studio slates and all of that, and we're seeing more and more just things getting, you know, bumped out. but Marvel has after bumping it, I guess they've held the release date for the Marvels, which comes out this weekend. I definitely
I'm
plan on
so
watching.
excited. Can't wait to
Yeah,
see it on Thursday night. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Saturday night because I have
Yeah.
some stuff on Friday that I can't make it work. So I'm going Saturday night. And then they announced Echo. They just released the trailer for Echo.
Oh my
Um,
god, it looks so good. Okay, I'm a huge Alaqua Cox fan. Like the woman,
mhm,
her first acting role was Maya Lopez slash Echo. Um, she is deaf. She is an amputee, and she is a badass.
mhm.
And this is Maya's story, and obviously we get to see the resolution of what happened to Kingpin at the end of Hawkeye. Yes. See?
Yeah, the
Oh my
trailer.
gosh. So it's kind of giving us the vibe that, original Netflix Daredevil had. Like right off the bat, you got Kingpin beating the crap out of some guy in the alley, and it's bloody and it's brutal.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
it's TVMA,
it
girl.
is
You have to
very brutal.
adjust your Disney Plus settings to
Yes.
allow you to watch the show.
Yeah.
Um, I was amazed.
So
So
I told
I'm
Spencer it was
into that.
crazy. So I'm glad he watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for Echo. Like I said, Alaqua is amazing, and Native American representation,
Yeah.
deaf community
Mhm.
representation, um,
Amputee. Yeah.
amputee.
Check, check,
Like
check.
she's a badass, and her first acting role.
Mhm.
Come
I
on,
loved her in
she's
the
a
Hawkeye
force.
series. I thought
Yes.
that there's no breakout of the Hawkeye series.
So
It's the kind of thing where like everyone was good,
yeah,
and I
so
was like,
much
I want
heart.
more of everyone. It's kind of
Yeah.
nuts that like everything worked in Hawkeye of all the things, like the Christmas setting, the new girl who's the new Hawkeye, Maya worked, Kingpin worked. I thought the
Traffy,
setting, I thought
like
the goons,
yeah,
the jumpsuit gang, like I
tracksuit
yeah,
mafia.
yeah,
Woo!
Tracksuit Mafia, the swordsman guy, every single one
The
of them, I was like,
LARPers were
"Yeah,
killing me, and
right, that
Yelena.
shouldn't work, but it
Yeah,
does." Oh, Yelena, okay, Yelena was actually probably the breakout, but in all
okay, but just
seriousness,
so
like,
you know, guys,
yeah,
it is almost the Christmas season, which means it's time for a Hawkeye rewatch.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. I really, I can't say enough good things about the Hawkeye series, which is crazy that that's, like, probably one of the ones that I think is gonna hang in as,
I
like,
love that
a
series so
re
much.
highly rewatchable and, you know, because he always got made fun of so much. Um,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I'm excited about Echo because now that I've seen a trailer, I get the
Yeah,
tone of the
Sherry.
show, and it
Yes.
does seem like an actual sequel to Daredevil, which was a very good show. Um I'm nervous about the same day drop, the binge watch thing, because I've heard that like it could be getting dropped in one day because maybe it's not that great and it's not going to keep people's attention span for the 8 weeks or whatever, 6 weeks or however long. But I don't know. They dropped Visions in one day and they've done that twice in a row. So is there
Right.
a reason?
And they did
I
that
don't
with
know.
Daredevil. Like, remember on Daredevil and on
Yeah.
Netflix, they drop it all in one weekend and then you watch it.
Yeah.
So
Which I don't
maybe
like. I can't do this binge watch thing. I don't have 8 hours to just sit there and watch a show.
I I did with Fall of the House of Usher. Like I watched 5 hours worth the first night and then watched the last three the next night. So I was just like, oh my God, it's 2 in the morning and I have to go to work tomorrow and I have to, you know,
Yep.
but
No,
I
I,
want to
I
finish this episode. So um I have a feeling that's what it may be like for me. So I'll probably be binging it all in one night. And I'm hoping the episodes are about an hour each. Hope, hope. But
yeah.
it'll be
I
exciting.
I don't know. Look, I'm hopeful. I think we're all in the same boat where everyone's annoyed by the fact that like there's kind of no content happening right now, right? Because the
Mhm.
strike is still ongoing, and that's the studio's fault, not the actor's fault, just to be clear. But like we want new stuff. We're excited about the Marvels,
So
because it is a
excited.
blockbuster movie. But a lot of other stuff was delayed. I prefer weekly episodes as well. I don't know what the reason, especially as you don't have content. It's weird that they wouldn't be spreading it out. That's what makes me nervous. I also
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know what the rest of the Disney Plus slate looks like. I think because everything got delayed in 24, they might just be running up with another situation where they don't want things overlapping. We saw that happen with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ms. Marvel. what did that do? The Obi-Wan Kenobi show sunk Ms. Marvel. I honestly think that's what happened. Like,
Yeah,
it's
because Ms.
it's
Marvel was a fantastically fun series. Like I enjoyed
yeah,
that
I liked
series.
it. I once I picked it up again after, because I started falling behind, and once you miss 2 episodes, you just have to wait. And I'm like, I can't catch up. So I waited, and then I actually I binged it in like 2 sections, and
I'm
I
like that with
enjoyed it.
Loki right now. I haven't watched
Yeah.
anything beyond the second episode, so
There's
I have
there's
to go
only
back.
one left. We're done.
I
It's girl, it's over. Yeah.
know. I've
But
been
also,
busy.
I gotta be honest, it doesn't
Wait, how many
matter.
episodes was this
If
Loki
it's
season?
6 or 7 or 8, who knows and who cares?
Are
I'm
you
gonna say
sure?
something controversial but brave. The Loki season 2 show could have been an email. I gotta be honest, like, I
Oh,
don't yeah.
oh,
Alright,
6
6 episodes.
episodes? What?
It's barely a show. Nothing happened. As much as things keep happening, nothing has happened. And correct me
Ugh.
if I'm wrong, everyone in the chat, but who else thinks that Loki is a waste of my time? Um,
I liked the first 2 episodes, so
I
I
loved the
wanna
first
see how it goes.
season. I didn't like the first 2, and I think that, yeah, this week is the finale. See, I'm not wrong. So
Where the
Thursday
hell have I been?
we get the finale of Loki and
Yes.
the Marvels. Give it a week. This is the thing I screamed about. Remember when Loki started, it was the same week as Ahsoka ending, and I said there was no runway, and I was pissed. I was like, Ahsoka ended on Tuesday, and Loki picked up on Thursday, and I needed time to breathe from Ahsoka and to regroup and
Yeah,
recap
yeah.
and breathe and runway for the next week. It actually really should have been like a 2-week delay, a week to recap Loki,
Aw.
and then a week to ramp up for a week to recap Ahsoka, and then a week to ramp up for Loki. None of that happened. I don't understand how, like, we're in this spot now where, like, Loki ends the day that the Marvels comes out. Like, there's so little content. How are they on top of each other? What's everyone doing all day? That this no one looked at the calendar. It makes me so angry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like really having one of those moments where I was like, I could slap someone.
Um, Jeff says, sorry, I'm just gonna scroll up
Yeah, scroll
here.
back. By the way, I
Is it
hate
gonna let
everyone
me
in the
scroll?
chat who likes this show. I just want to let you know we're no longer friends across the board.
Are we no longer friends? Because so far
All
I'm
of us.
liking it. Okay.
We're canceling the
Jeff.
show.
Okay. Thanks. Jeff says the new season of Invincible, which is something I loved season 1, so I need to go back and
Mhm.
maybe do a rewatch
Yeah,
a
they
little
didn't
bit. It's
finish
been a
it.
while.
They didn't
It's
finish it. It's a
it's
strike.
split in
Yeah.
2 halves with 4 episodes now and 4 coming later.
That's
So
American Horror Stories. It's the same thing. Like,
yeah.
there were so many shows that were episodes in. Look, what's airing on free TV right now on basic television? Like, I'm talking not even cable. What's airing on free TV? The Price is Right at night. What are we doing here? Like, it's
Mhm.
sports and whatever other reality programming they can fill in
The
slots and game
Voice.
shows. It's pitiful.
Yeah.
So
The
I don't
Golden
know.
Bachelor.
Right.
My
So I
my
don't
mother has been
know.
glued to that, by the way.
Honestly, have at it. They all have. They'll. I'm controversial but brave. Um, I don't think their generation should find love. There you go. I'm sick of them. Sick of them.
Oh,
Everyone that age and
oh.
over. So yeah,
Scandalous.
yeah. Done with
Let's do
them.
my best Jim Carrey impersonation there. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
There we go. I'm taking swings at everyone tonight.
Taking
So
swings at the boomers. Okay.
yeah, exactly. Have yeah, they know what they did. Um, so
Yeah.
actually they might not because they don't listen. So
He's the color of Mark's shirt.
yeah. So Loki, um, which is a show about timey-wimey nonsense, is wasting my timey-wimey nonsense. So I'm sorry, Sherry. I still love you. I still love you. I hope you still love me. I hate this season of Loki.
Sherry, if
And
you're gonna watch the
yeah.
show, continue to watch the show. Watch it for me.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone can still like Ashley. Look,
I'm
as much
kidding.
as we don't really, pay attention to the Potterverse anymore, and we swipe that aside, we did do the Sorting
Get my
Hat at work.
tattoo covered at some point. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
We did do the Sorting Hat at work, and I was like very clearly a Slytherin. And no, there was like no surprise. They were like, "Yeah, that tracks." Not one person was like, "Oh, do you need to retake that?" They were like, "Oh, that makes sense." They were like, "Yeah, great." And I'm like, "Okay, I kind of knew that was true, but yeah." So I'm very much the Slytherin of the crew.
So's
But
my
yeah,
mom, Sherry. My mom is 75, so she's like some of the ladies are like her age on the show, and she's like, "Ooh," and I'm like,
well, look,
I don't need another stepdad. I'm good."
when the revolution comes, we'll remember you, Sherry. It'll be fine. You'll be on the safe side. So we will spare you. So
You are all crazy tonight, buddy.
the
I love it.
millennials are getting old and tired, and we need to strike before our knees start giving out. Um, but which I gotta say, everything hurts from Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh
Like
my
my
god.
body's like aching from
My
the small
okay.
steps on Saturday.
Alan wore dress shoes, like his newish dress shoes
Was he
on.
new? Yeah.
No, he wore them on Sunday and he said my feet hurt so much less than my actual Skechers sneakers.
Really?
And it was not a good dress shoes that he bought from like Marshalls, and his feet were not killing him. He's like, "Oh my god, my feet felt so good when I got home." And I was like, "For wearing dress shoes all day?" Like I was
That's
just like in
surprising.
complete disbelief. But hey, you learn.
Whatever
Okay.
works. Like
Yeah,
I've got shoes
whatever
that are
works.
deceptively comfortable, and they're actually some of them. My expensive tuxedo shoes are the ones that are actually the most comfortable.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
which is
crazy.
surprising. Which
We
okay,
will
I think
never
we
call
are.
you Boomer Sherry. We
Yes,
love you.
exactly, and we love you, Sherry. Um, and everyone in the chat too. You can like Loki, and it'll be all right. By the way, I hope everyone enjoys the
Hey,
finale.
just so you
Um,
guys know, Mark gave me the same shit for Bad Batch season 1. Just
Yeah, and I stand by it. Bad Batch season 1 is bad, but Bad Batch season 2 is great. And so I told people all the time, I was like, watch a recap video for Bad Batch season 1 and then just watch season 2. I
But
think
watch
that
the
that
Hera and Kanan episodes because they're
even honestly, like, watch a recap. Like, I don't even want to overstep. Like, if I'm truthful, right? Like I tell people, don't
no,
watch Resistance. Like like
no.
I I'll tell you what my real feelings are on the various properties because
Yeah,
I don't want to say just watch these particular episodes and it'll be fine.
yeah.
When honestly, season 2 is great. I'm excited about Bad Batch season 3, and I don't know when we're gonna get it. Um,
Oh,
you know,
Mike.
Bad Batch, yeah. Um, which that in mind comes back to the original thing we were talking about. Echo's gonna hit in January. When is Skeleton Crew coming?
Didn't they say sometime in 2024? It wasn't like concrete.
It's not on the schedule.
It's no
Um,
longer on the
No,
schedule?
I mean, it's not there's no date announced. So
Oh.
2024 is like a nebulous, yeah, eventually. When
Mm,
is Acolyte coming? I think we'll get Acolyte first because we know more
really?
about it, and then Skeleton Crew.
Huh.
I think so. My suspicion is that Acolyte will be first. And by the way, I have no insider info as a licensee. I
None.
just have no idea. And then
Just
Bad
going by
Batch
the gut.
season 3. Yeah, Bad Batch season 3 is probably the only thing that's close to being done because animation was unaffected by the strike. You just need the voice actors to come back, and I don't want to say you can bang that out, but the animation is the longer lead on that. So it should be fine. Once you're able to get them back in the studio, the voice actors can record in a couple days. Like that's not a problem.
Yeah.
If anything, it'd be better to have all the animation done and then insert the voice actors. Um, I'm not worried about Bad Batch season 3. They can actually probably pull that up faster than anything else on the slate. It's the movies and everything else that are never going to come. Like it's going to be 2028, and we're going to be like, can't wait for that Ray movie.
Yeah, Voice Actor Union wasn't on strike, so
Well, if they're part of SAG, they can't be involved in projects. So you're thinking of video game voice actors and whatever else, but if they're in SAG for AMPTP projects like Star Wars, they're not recording for that,
right.
like because it's part of the studio system. But video games are still rolling, so
They
because they don't
are.
have a union for that, in theory. All right. Okay. Before I piss off anyone else tonight, let's get to let's get to our plugs. Um, Happy hour tomorrow night on Zoom. You can all come in and talk about how much you love Loki or something, and then and then get ready for the Marvels finale. um,
Yes.
and then what else? Wednesday, the Nerf Herders Council. They are talking about the Mortis arc, which I am so ready for. So I'm going to be
Yeah.
definitely in the chat on that one. That one's going to be great. Um,
Cool.
Thursday, and we can't reveal the name of the movie, but I know what it is, and I'm very excited that I know. But we're not allowed to talk about it yet. The movies that we are thankful for, they are going to be announcing the movie on Wednesday, so be on the lookout. There is a clue, and I'll give you the clue, and it is Rhode Island. because it's related to Rhode Island. Like all roads lead to Rhode Island. Let me
Rhode
tell you.
Island Comic Con.
Yeah,
Yes.
so good stuff. And then Sunday, they have a very special episode of the Unifying Force where they're finally getting around to the Ahsoka religious discussion that they were been talking about for a while now. So I'm very
Yeah.
excited to hear Dave and Kat and Gio go to town on like all things religion and spirituality in the Ahsoka show. That is going to be a must-watch episode for sure.
Yes. So if you're not doing anything on Sunday, make sure you tune in. It's gonna be good.
Yep. And then just to give you all a heads about what's coming on Rebels Revisited, next week we're doing another watch along. We might even pay attention to the episode next week. It's going to be
Ouch.
Wings of the Master, which is a great Hera episode with her
One of
flying.
my favorite episodes
Yeah.
of Rebels. Like, not even just a favorite Hera-centric episode. It's Hera at her best.
Yeah, she's terrific in that episode. And then Monday the 20th, tapping into, what we're thankful for. We're going to have our Thanksgiving, sort of pre-Thanksgiving, what are we thankful for within Star Wars, in particular Star Wars Rebels. So it's also becoming something of an annual tradition for us. So
Yeah.
that'll be 2 weeks from now.
I love that we have annual traditions. Like, it makes me feel honored because, like, hey,
Yeah.
we're still on the air long enough to have
Yeah.
all these annual traditions, and it makes me feel so good. So thank you guys. We couldn't have done this
Yeah.
without you.
Oh my God, Mystic Pizza, Sherry. The movies we're thankful for. I would say I'd be thankful for that movie. I love Julia Roberts. So it's very, very funny. But yes, if you want to scour some thoughts, Rhode Island Comic Con would be your a very broad clue for you to go into movies that we're thankful for Wednesday. Announced on Wednesday, viewing party on Thursday here on the network. So
Yeah.
I believe that's everything.
Yeah, make sure you check out the Virtual Cantina TeePublic store for all of your Virtual Cantina merchandise needs, including Rebels Revisited t-shirts, Daughters of the Galaxy t-shirts, Pride t-shirts, gotta have our big gay explosions, the patriotic shirts, so many good ones. Our Hu Yang is for the Youngling shirt Spencer was
Everyone
rocking
loves
this
that one.
weekend. I love
Yep.
that freaking shirt. It's not just because I came up with the idea of it. It's one of my favorites.
The
Hu
Daughters
Yang
of the
ain't
Galaxy
nothing to
merch.
force with. Yeah. So I just want you guys to go check that out. I know the TeePublic site does sales all the time, so make sure you get a hold of those $16 t-shirts whenever they
They'll
pop up.
they'll definitely have a Black Friday sale, so everyone be on the lookout. We'll
Oh, yeah.
post it on the Facebook group as well.
We will.
And then Mike just mentioned the comment with Life Day being next week.
Ooh.
There will be a Life Day thing happening on the channel, so more to come on that.
How is it already Life Day?
I know, I can't even.
What? Like October just like and now
I
I'm just
know.
like
It's already Christmas. It's already New Year's. It's already
like
Valentine's
my
Day.
boyfriend singing Christmas carols is no longer too much of a thing. Like it's
Mariah
it's
Carey has
happening.
been defrosted, so that song is already everywhere.
Totally out. Yeah.
Yes, and this we should mention too, give you guys some lead time. 10 days from now already, the Life Day show is on the network. So our very special, I think the Skywalkers are involved with that as well. So
Yeah.
more info to come. There will be an event listed on the Facebook page along with some extra details. That is a must watch for sure.
Yes. Tune in. Join us.
Yep. I think that's it for tonight.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us and waxing poetic about Rhode Island Comic Con and watching the episode a little bit. We'll see you guys next Monday night on Rebels Revisited. May the Force be with you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.